takes care of everything. And I've been reading Robert Adams, and he, of course, he's saying the same thing, and he's saying just place your attention, or not your attention, just be in being. I am, and when a thought comes, he says, ask to whom does this thought appears, where does it come from, where is it going. So my question is really, up to what extent that takes care of everything, because maybe when one doesn't know what to do, for example, in a decision in life or something, instead of being thinking what I do and what I don't do, just being in the self and redirecting any doubt to the self will probably give the solution, or that's more or less my question. Do you understand it?
Yes, I think so. So, one approach doesn't negate the other. In other words, to be.
I don't hear you. Sorry. Wait.
Okay, do you hear me now? Do you hear me?
I don't know what's happening. Wait. Yeah. Can you speak?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Yes, you hear me now? Yes? Hello, Jenny, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what I was saying is that you could simultaneously be looking at certain life situations that require you to make a decision or require you to make a choice, and simultaneously be contemplating what am I truly. One does not need to exclude the other, and one does not need to replace the other. But it's important to understand that if you are living your life believing yourself to be the character that your thoughts are projecting, you will still be faced with all sorts of choices to make in your life, but none of these choices that you will make is going to bring you to the peace and to the happiness that you are seeking. They may bring you to a choice that would maybe get you the job that you want, or get you the partner that you want, or get you the situation that you want, or get you the investment that you want, but it will not bring you to happiness. So thought is of course part of the human dynamic, and it is available to our service, and it's very useful, very helpful. But because we are looking for happiness, it is important that we contemplate what is our true nature. The contemplation of our true nature has to do with peace and happiness. It has to do with self-awakening to our innate freedom, which is not possible when you continue to believe yourself to be a dream character that is projected by thought, somebody living in time and space. That belief and that feeling limits you, it entraps you in a certain mind state, in a certain feeling state, that no matter what choices you make in your life will not bring you to happiness. So in terms of your question, yes, you do make choices in your life, and you do gather information, you do apply due diligence, you do you do your best to make the best choices, the best choice that you can, and that is important towards your body, towards new relationships, in your work, and in everything that you contemplate. But it's very important for you to also understand that if you are interested in peace and happiness, and not just certain pleasures or certain sensations or certain temporary experiences, if you're interested in peace and happiness, you must contemplate, what am I truly? You have to contemplate, what is the source? What is it that I truly am? Am I the body mind? Am I defined by thoughts? Am I defined by feelings? Am I defined by something that I am experiencing? Or am I that which is formless, boundaryless awareness, presence, undeniable truth? Because everything that you experience changes. It's true today, but tomorrow it may not be true any longer because the situation may have changed. What is it that is absolute, that is real, that is true in my experience? What am I truly? You see, in everything that that you experience, there is always the I. There's always the I. It's in everything that you experience, there is the I, what we refer to as I. I is confused to be the body, is confused to be an object, is confused to be something that is born, something that will die. But in fact, if you look at the I right now, you will find that it's not an object. It is a reality that we refer to as I, that perceives. You see, not only it perceives this perception, for example, but also it knows that it is. You see, I know I am. Not just I know that there is this computer in front of me, that there is this couch here, that there is this street here. Yes, of course, I do know that as well. But I also know that I am, that I is. There is isness. It's not nothing, there is isness, beingness, whatever the word is. And that is always there. There's always there. You're never not. You are never not. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. You always are. You're not always a body-mind, because in deep sleep, for example, there is no body-mind, you see. And in the direct knowingness of yourself, there is no body-mind. So the contemplation of happiness is the contemplation of the reality of the self. This does not negate, of course, your interest in making decisions in your life that have to do with the body-mind, that have to do with your health, your wealth, your friends, your partner, your neighbors, your employees, your whatever situation you are contemplating. You contemplate that situation with hopefully with loving and all-encompassing, not just a personal approach, not just what's in it for me, what's the best for me, and to contemplate, okay, yes, of course, I'm taking care of this body mind, I'm taking care of this situation, but how to take care of this situation from the perspective of consciousness. So you can make decisions from the perspective of the greater good. And I'm not talking about sacrificing oneself. No, I don't mean that. The greater good includes this what's appearing here right now, this body mind, this entourage, this this family member, this situation. It includes that, but it goes beyond that. So in our life is a great garden for us. It's a great laboratory for us to live according to consciousness, to live according to the universal reality of the self, you say. And this is, in a way, how our contemplation becomes more deep, more real, less abstract. It's lived, and it bears the fruits of our living according to the universality of consciousness, you see. And so whenever we're experiencing personal concerns, we experience personal concerns as contractions, as we may feel it in our belly, in our throat, whatever, whenever we're experiencing personal contraction, at that moment, we have sort of personalized the situation, and there is something at stake. And when there is something at stake, we have at that moment, how do you say? We have adopted the position of vulnerability, personal vulnerability, and then there is all sorts of concerns about our person, and these concerns they arise as thoughts. Sometimes it's a big flow, like a sort of a rapids, not just a gentle stream of thoughts. Sometimes it manifests itself as thoughts, and of course as bodily sensations. So we feel the contractions, and we feel a sense of danger, you see. And these sorts of emotions that we experience are very helpful, because they point to us that we are not on the right track at that moment, you see. At that moment, we are in the old paradigm of being a vulnerable person, you see. And when we're experiencing that we are a vulnerable person, then the all sorts of thoughts get activated to try to make us safe, you see, to try to safeguard us. But it's important to understand that these thoughts are trying to safeguard us they have a virus in them. They have assumed within the thoughts, there is the assumption that I am an object that needs to be preserved. You see, of course, the body is an object. We need to feed the body. We need to give the body rest, and we need to give the body love and companionship, etc. Of course, that's at the body level, but at the eye level, at the reality of the self, at the consciousness level, thought projects consciousness onto consciousness in a form. It says, the consciousness is this form. They say it is this person, and so within thought itself, that is trying to take care of the person now, because it's assumed itself. It assumed that the consciousness is a person. There is that virus, the assumption that consciousness, which is the formless aware presence that hears these words right now, is a male or a female or whatever gender form. And so it's important to, at that moment of self-concern, to pause, to be silent, be quiet, and to experience that entire dynamic that is unfolding, you see. Because when we are experiencing whatever is unfolding from a place of stillness, which is an interest, not an interest in solving a problem, but an interest to just experience what is arising. What arises at that moment is the stillness, you see? And it's not that we are trying to fix anything, but we're interested. And interest is open. It's a sort of a form of openness, you see? So it's important that our interest be directed towards a higher truth and not towards a personal gain or a personal endeavor. When our interest is towards a higher truth, and then our interest is not focused onto any object. It is open. It's an open interest. Because truth, reality is openness, is completely open. So we are interested in the higher truth. We're interested in the absolute. And so our interest is open. See? And
Volume lower down.
and it is not excluding anything, yes? It's not exclusive. Yes?
May I ask this question, please?
Yes. Hello, George. Yes.
Yes, hi there.
Yes.
I had this insight several days ago. I went to look and see what is really here, what is present. And I noticed that what is present is perceptions, emotions, thoughts, and that's all. I noticed that that's all there is. There's nothing else here. You know, body sensations, all that stuff. And then from that, noticing that's all there is, then the question that you raised is, well, then who am I? And so the obvious conclusion I reached then was, if that's all there is, just these perceptions, then who am I? I'm just a perceiver of this, or I'm just the awareness of this, is the words that people use. And I thought that this was a very profound understanding that I had gotten. And that's been about 5 or 6 days ago. And I had expected, as a result of this understanding, that I would now be awake. You know, things would be different. But I'm still identifying with this separate self, whom I know doesn't exist. You know, it's like, how do, you know, it's kind of a frustration here. I know that the separate self doesn't exist. And anyhow, so what do I do to make real my observation, my intuition?
Yes. Well, first of all, this is a very important insight that I am the awareness, I am the consciousness that
La cartera negra del cuarto. Bajo, se le voy a llamar.
okay, I am the awareness that perceives and not a dream character. You see, that's an important insight. But although we have that insight, which is an important insight, an insight, George, is not a thought. It can be formulated as a thought, but the insight itself is not a thought. It's sort of it's a direct sort of you could say the word revelation or understanding. So it's the light shining right through the belief structures. It has its impact and its effect, and it may not have an immediate, complete, upside down effect in your life and on your experience. but it is not nothing. It is an important understanding. Uh, you know, the body mind is conditioned. So although we may come to the understanding that I am awareness, I am the perceiver of thoughts, perceiver of sensations, the perceiver of perceptions. Although we have that understanding hasn't, it takes time for that understanding to, let's say, to make its way throughout our feeling states and to clear, to 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 bring that same understanding at our feeling level. So we still may feel uh, identified, although we do have that understanding. So there is work that needs to be done. There is further. Uh, the journey is not made up of one insight. It is made out of many insights, and it's also made out of living your insights. Your life is going to continue to challenge you. It is challenging you as a personal body mind. It's going to challenge you as somebody that you're identified with, you say. And so it provides you an opportunity to continue your contemplation, because now you have an understanding that I am not this body mind. I am not these thoughts. I am not these sensations. And yet you will find that life will challenge you and trigger in you the feeling of that I am this person, that I am somebody. So the contemplation continues. What is it that is being triggered? What is it that's feeling that that it's limited? What is to look at that? What is it that's feeling hurt? To take a look at that, because in our habitual way, we we have the habit of defending or of attacking. We say, oh no, we blame somebody, or we blame ourselves, or we defend ourselves. There is another approach to that, and the approach is to contemplate, to be looking at what is it that's feeling hurt. What is it that's feeling at that moment? There's only one way to feel hurt: is you feel hurt as a person. So my person, my image is feeling hurt. So you can ask yourself, what am I the image? At that moment, it's a fresh question. You see, the investigation remains fresh from moment to moment. It's not like, oh, gee, I got it now and that's it. You see, no, because we are living freshly every moment. So every moment there is, let's say, like an opportunity to rest as presence, or to be looking at whatever is arising. She hurt my feeling, or somebody got the promotion that I was hoping for, or I was hoping to feel like, oh, the sky opened and now I am enlightened. What is this I? What is this I within these thought patterns that are arising here? What is it? What is that I that is saying I'm enlightened or I'm not enlightened? What is that? To look freshly in this moment. You're hearing these words. What is it that hears it? What is it that truly perceives? You say, and what is it that is wanting something? You say it's wanting something. Because in wanting something, there has to be somebody that is wanting something. So there has to be some image of somebody wanting something, and there has to be an image of something that is wanted. You say. So a lot of that we may see that, goodness, it's all lots of images, you see. and they're not innocent because we are feeling them, you see. And so when we are feeling those images,
Yes.
it's interesting. It is interesting, isn't it, to be feeling these images in a way. I don't know, I think in a way it's interesting that
Yes.
we're like such image makers and image feelers, yeah, if we can say it this way. Yeah, it's to be sort of looking at that in sort of an in a sense, with a sense of awe, and a sense of wonder and innocence and interest and and to notice the tendency to that we have to 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 want things to be a certain way, to have like
Yes.
our ideas about how we are and how the world is and what is to be enlightened and all all this 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 mind stuff, you see, right? And what's what's fascinating is not just, you know, the all the images that are arising, which are fascinating, and the feelings that are arising that are fascinating, but also there is awareness, this moment, silent, aware presence. You see that that magic of that. You see, there is magic of the screen, and of course, there's a magic of the images on the screen. It's all pretty wonder, awe striking. See, so although the mind has a tendency to banalize, is that banal to sort of turn everything as like, oh, it's the same, you know, to sort of label things and says, okay, well, I know the oak tree because it's an oak tree, you know, like any other oak. It's an oak tree. You know, what you're looking at, it's an oak tree. No, no, no. It's a fresh way of looking at anything and at everything, every moment that inspires the wonder and the awe, you see. And it's not about getting enlightened or not getting enlightened and all that stuff. It's a certain freshness of being, and and it's something that we can invite, inspire, and live and discover whichever way we can discover it moment by moment. You see? So it's not about images of enlightenment or non-enlightenment. You see? So more about an interest, a love, a passion, and a sense of adventure and and to 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 live with that sense of wonder and interest and inquiry, and that includes feeling hurt sometimes. You know, that old me that arises is that's feeling hurt, that wants to defend itself, or that believes things should be this way or that way. So we can experience that freshly, you see, freshly, not like it was before where we need to defend it. Maybe we don't need to defend it. Maybe we can experience it in a way that we don't know how we're going to experience it. And so what is it that is at stake? I love that question. What is it that's really at stake, you see? I love that question because it invites me to look at my assumption that there is something at stake. And of course, there is something at stake when thoughts are saying, yeah, there is something at stake for me. You know, if I don't get that, I'm going to be unhappy. You see? So I look at that. I look at that because if I agree that if I don't get this, I'm going to be unhappy, if I agree, then I have set myself up to that. And I need to see that my function, my part of it, my contribution to that. I am agreeing that I will be unhappy if I don't get that promotion. And I ask myself, well, wait a minute, why? Maybe there's another way of looking at this. maybe I'm going to try for the promotion. And if the promotion doesn't come, that's okay too. See, there is that possibility. See, that's okay too. So that's it. Life is so you can't come at it in from just one perspective. There's so many perspectives to come at it. You know, there is also, of course, the perspective of looking at, well, and I find that to be like a core question. You know, am I something that I perceive myself to be, whether it's a thought or a sensation? Am I that? And as you said earlier, George, that you came to that insight that no, I'm not. I am the awareness that perceives. And that can be visited again freshly. It can be revisited, you say. It's not like a billiard game where you hit the ball and you get a strike and that's it. All the pins are down, you know.
Right. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Yes. I was hoping that was the case, but
you know, the pins come back up, you know, for
right.
you to throw another ball, right?
Pins come. Let me ask a follow-up question on the question of curiosity. When I saw that there was nothing else, it seemed as a consequence that there's nothing else, like the world doesn't exist. And you're saying that there are things out there. I mean, is there an out there? It seems that there's no out there.
You see, the out there is in here in a way, because when you look at out there, where is the out there outside of your own awareness?
Exactly. It's not. It's not.
Right. So the out there is not really out there. There is no out there. It's all awareness, you see, because the oak tree
Yes.
appears within awareness, and I don't experience the oak tree. I experience the experience. I experience the perception, you see, and the perception is not out there. Perception is intimate with awareness. So when you contemplate that my goodness, all is awareness. This thought, this perception right now, this sensation right now, it's arising intimately, completely intimately at zero distance of awareness itself, let's say, which I refer to as I. So yes, you know, there is the possibility of experiencing, which is arises as thought, experiencing the thought that, oh my God, there is no out there, so therefore I am all alone in the world. But
yes. The solipsism thought came to me. Are there other beings out there? You know, I don't want to have that solipsistic point of view, so please go on.
Yes. You know, in fact, in our experience, there are other beings. And these other beings are intimate within our experience, you see. Like, for example, right now, we have the intimate experience of being together, you see. So, yes, and no. In other words, yes, there are other beings. And no, they're not out there. These other beings are intimately with us on the stage, on the same stage, in the same choreography, in the same choreography, in the same puppet show in a way, and we're dancing together in the same stage, sharing the same air, having a conversation with a shared understanding. And when we look closely at that, we find that, like in your dream, for example, in your night dream, there are sometimes 5, 6, 7 people, 10 people that appear in the dream, and they're having conversations, and they are traveling, God only knows whatever they are doing. They're all arising within the same dream state, within the same dream mind. They're all intimate in a way. They appear to be different. You know, in the dream, every person is sort of having different activities, but you realize when you contemplate the dream that in fact it was all very intimate, you say. So to your question, are there people out there? Are there things out there? Is there a world out there? Yes, there is, but it's not so much out there. It is all in here. And the in here, what is the here? The here is awareness, you say. The here is awareness. And the dream character that I call Magdi uh, is appears within that same here-ness, within that same awareness. And the dream character that I'm experiencing right now as George appears within that same here-ness. So it is not solipsism. It is a shared. It is there is a we have many different minds, like in a night dream that you have. Maybe there is one person looking at the mountain, is seeing the mountain, and another person is sitting next to them, but is looking at the lake. So there is, from perspective A, there is the mind of the mountain mind. From perspective B, there is the lake mind. And yes, there are different minds, different perspectives, but there is one awareness that that is dreaming this dream. So the perception of the mountain is actually, it's not in fact the person A that is perceiving the mountain, or you could say person A is perceiving the mountain via the dreamer. Yes, because without the dreamer, there is no character A looking at, and there is no mountain, and there is no character A looking at the mountain, and there is no character B, and there is no lake, you see. So via that one here-ness, that one beingness, whatever the word is, that one reality, there are all these infinite minds, intimately as that, see, intimately as that.
Thank you very much. This has been very helpful to me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. From George, yes. So if there are any other questions. Any questions? there are no questions, then thank you all. Very lovely to be with you. And this Zoom actually works out fine. And, so this next Sunday we're not meeting, but I guess the Thursday, 1 week from today, we'll meet again, and I will announce it. Namaste, and thank you all.